Hello there. 0360 was at Accra, the largest gathering of stakeholders and leaders in the education industry. We had the opportunity to talk to some of the guests at the event about some of the problems in our education system and some of the solutions we can implement to ensure quality education in Africa.
My name is Vivian Onano. I am a Kenyan and I'm an advocate for women and girls. I think the problem has been trying to replicate the same model from one country to another, or even from one region to another region, no understanding the concern when it comes to access to resources, the teacher development capability, access to technology, even access to basic needs like access to clean water and sanitation, access to food for the children who are going to be involved in the learning process. So I think we need to understand the environment that we're working in, the opportunities and the challenges that are available before we even try to replicate a model. I think the problem is replicating the same model from one region and thinking that it's going to work just because you work in the other region. And that's why we're facing the same challenges that we're facing today when it comes to access to education, even before you talk about quality and the relevance of education. That's a very good question, right? Because most of the kids who are out of school, majority of them are in the rural areas, right? And a very good example, I just coming to Accra, I was in Sierra Leone, and I visited with Educate Sierra Leone. They're focused on providing quality education to marginalized children. These are like children from the bottom of the pyramid in the society. And even in the region, they don't have any support from the government. They are looking for funding from outside, and we're talking about beyond aid. So I think we need to really talk about investing in our education system, but also looking at investing in our teachers. How well are our teachers equipped? What are the programs that are out there for our teachers to continue developing themselves? Because our teachers are the first interaction that we have with as students. So how well are our teachers equipped? How well are our teachers invested in? And also look at the basics. Some of the kids come from families that don't even have access to food. And it's hard to learn without food in your tummy. To be honest, it's really hard. As much as you may be the smartest kid in the whole planet, in the whole country, it's really hard, right? So access to food, then access to basic resources like books, pencils, like the very least. That is what most of the kids are lacking today. So how do you make sure that we invest holistic investment in the education system? How well do we also bring in our parents, bring in the community? Because it's not just about the student, it's also about the community that kid comes from. When it comes to girls' education, which is something that I'm very passionate about and something I advocate on every day. When it comes to, the girl is going to trust what the parents are telling her. So if your parent tells you you don't go to school, regardless of whether the sponsor is coming from the United States and putting in the money, if the parents and the community is not involved in it, it's zero work, because at the end of the day, she's going to trust the community that she comes from. So I think also we need to bring the community in, because it's a holistic investment. And that's what it means when it comes to access to quality and safe and relevant education. The UN is a very big body. It's very bureaucratic, and you know that, to be honest. But still, that doesn't deter me from using the power of my voice to influence change. So working very closely with the UN Women, and the UN Women Executive Director is a very passionate advocate for girls' education. So using the leadership that's there to be able to influence change. It cannot happen overnight, and that's what I tell people. Just because you're affiliated and you work with the institution doesn't mean that everything is going to happen overnight. But if we all play our role bit by bit, then change is going to happen. So you just keep pushing. We are here on the ground in Ghana. We are very fortunate to have the Minister of Education with us. What kind of conversation are we engaging him with so that when he goes back to the office, he start acting on it? So just using your environment, the position of power that you have, the power of your voice to influence change. So you have a role to play, I have a role to play, and if we all play our roles collectively, that's when we can be able to have lasting change in our society, and more so in the education system, to make sure that every child has access to quality, safe, and relevant education, no matter where they come from.